Narinder, let me start with you. Do the left have a problem with race?
I think the left and the right have a problem with the race. It's a very open-ended question, that is. So I'm going to say, yes, probably they do, but so do the right. The Tory government do. If you note Boris Johnson's, all his racist remarks, I'd say both parties have a problem with race. But in this instant, I'm going to say what she said was very ill-informed. It was very silly. It was grossly misjudged. However, I don't think it was racism.
And why do you not think it was racism, Narinder?
I think, Mark, my background, I've experienced racism, real racism, hardcore racism my entire life. I've also experienced being called a coconut by my own community, and that is not the same thing. I don't care what anyone says. It's not racism. It's not shocking. And I think what Rupa Hug said has been twisted for a political agenda. I think she's been dealt with. I think it wasn't the right thing to say. We're not condoning it. But I've been called coconut many a time by my community. That's not racism. It's not. It's not nice, but it's not racism.
Narinder, how can it not be racist?
Being called the P word. Sorry?
Narinder, sorry to interrupt you. How can it not be racist to say that a black man, a very accomplished man who's become the Chancellor of the Exchequer, one of the top 3 jobs in the country, is only superficially black? On what planet is that not racist?
I think, Mark, you have to look at the meaning. You don't know what she meant behind that. I think, take colour aside, I think that was silly she said that. I think she's talking about it in a social term. I think, look, no one has had the privileges that he has had. She's saying he's not relatable to the black and ethnic minority communities. He doesn't understand the plight. He's basically racial gatekeeping. But it's not racist to say what she did. I don't think it was. I'm sorry. It's the same as me being called coconut by my own community. That's not racism. It's just not nice.
Rakib, I'm very puzzled by this. We'll come back to Narinder's thoughts shortly. But do you agree with Narinder that these comments were not racist?
Well, I have to politely disagree with Narinder. I would say that the comments are racist, and in that sense, I definitely agree with Sakir Starmer. And I think that he needs to be given credit for swiftly suspending Dr. Rupa Hug from the parliamentary party. I'd make the point that her comments, ultimately what she was doing was questioning Kwasi Kwarteng's racial authenticity on the grounds that he has a prestigious education, that he speaks a certain way. She was suggesting that he doesn't sound black. The reality of the matter is, in the British black population, there is a rich diversity of accents and speaking styles. But the reality is also, in Britain, we have traditional ethnic minorities that have a very strong emphasis on educational standards. And it's quite hypocritical that these comments were made by Dr. Rupa Hug, considering that she attended a private school herself. So how would she feel if someone said, as a result of that, she wasn't authentically Bangladeshi? So I think there's a great deal of hypocrisy. I think it's grotesque. Her comments were grotesque, and ultimately it is that kind of left-wing racism where there's almost it's almost questioning one's racial authenticity just because they may speak a certain way, that they were educated a certain way.